Hey guys, first fan of the night.
First fan of the night.
And I believe also last fan of the night.
Last fan of the night.
So, not entirely certain what this is. I bought two of these from a collector friend who had found them and was very excited to find them but couldn't keep them. And I was very excited to find them. I was certain before I received them that they were an obscure company from California called Plantation Fan Company. Not to be confused with Island Fans, which is, their model was called the Plantation Electric Fan. Unfortunately, a lot of fan companies were plantation themed because if you think of like movies like Gone with the Wind, there's a lot of ceiling fans and a lot of old Southern, But of course, I think when people were naming fan companies, they weren't thinking about the slavery connotation. So now those kind of names wouldn't be cool. But back then in the 80s, that was considered to be okay. I was certain that's what they were because I had some copies of their advertisements, and this looked exactly like one of the fans in their advertisements. Having received them, I'm not so certain because then when I first got them out of the box, I thought for sure they were imported because the switch housing, all the components in the switch housing, and some of the other parts are very clearly imported. And then I opened it up because this one, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I opened them up, and they have Universal Motors, which is an American motor company. So I'm thoroughly confused at this point, and what I need to do is now that I've had a closer look at one, I need to go back to the Plantation ads and see if the little details are similar, like the light kit itself, and, the fact that they're reverse pitch is interesting. And other thing is that I've heard that this is a copy of a Deal antique ceiling fan. I've heard it's a copy of a Peerless antique ceiling fan. And if you look at both the Deal and the Peerless, they are both very similar. So that's another thing we want to get to the bottom of. Very similar to the Casablanca Centennial, which was a copy of a variety of ceiling fans. But I think the Centennial was more of a Deal copy, and this might be more Peerless. I don't know. That's another thing I need to look into, but right now I'm far more curious about who actually made these. 48-inch, Universal motor, some import parts. Yeah, so despite everybody's best intent, a few things happened in shipping, and the stationary shafts that hold the switch housings were broken, and so I thought I'd fix this one, and then it seemed to work fine, and then we put blades on it, and now the switch housing rattles. So before we would install these anywhere, and I really want to install them somewhere, I'm hoping like they would go well in like a restaurant. But before we install these anywhere, would need to work on that stationary shaft some more. So if it rattles in the video, that's what happened. I've tried to it's tight, but it still rattles. I may need a bushing. We did try some lubrication. You can probably see that. Just, So anything you want to say your metal is before we power it up?
Not really. As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, well, it's the 3-speed.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and give it...
Yep.
Ooh. Nice atmospheric glow.
Yes, atmospheric glow.
Do you know who really, really liked these when he saw them in the pictures?
Who?
Other Jonas.
Yeah.
Yeah. These were definitely organ room. He wanted to buy them. At that point, I had already bought them, and honestly, as much as I love Other Jonas, I don't know that he could have afforded them because I paid what I thought was a pretty good but high price for them because I'd never seen, I wanted to be fair to another collector who had, found something that nobody had ever seen before. So I don't know if they're in Other Jonas' budget, but he did love them. Yeah. So if Metal Jonas visits, we can talk to him about them as well and see. I have a feeling. Well, we'll see because Metal. We can see how metal they are first, and then combine that with Other Jonas, and we can see how Metal Jonas they are. It's a nice low. That's a beautiful low. You want to tack it, or are you good with just?
Here.
He's like, oh, might as well. Crunch. I got myself a Sperry, and I don't know what I did with it. I'm gonna need a Sperry. And that's the classic .21.
Basically 160.
So that's 40. It's a perfect low, if you ask me.
Yep.
And, 3 watts. So it's a very low power factor.
Capacitor controlled in there.
Yep. Well, let's take it to meet you.
Nice and quiet.
Yeah, this thing has been dead silent. I'll be curious to see how it is in a solid state. where could I use a matched set of fans with lights? Especially because they hang down pretty low. This is one of the things I'd love to find one of my buddies that owns a restaurant and put these in there, but it has to be a pretty classy restaurant. That's moving some air even for medium. 0.56. 25 watts. Still low power factor. You can hear that stationary shaft rattling, though.
525.
It's annoying me. We did the best we could. 131, not a bad medium. Okay, let's take it to high.
What could you do?
I did.
These fly, though.
They do. Universal motors tend to be... So yeah, you hear that. That's annoying the hell out of me.
This is... Yeah, 1065. Divided by 4.
Oh, 267. Wow.
Yeah, that's getting close to an industrial.
It is. Well, let's see how the airflow is. Keep in mind it's 48 inch, not 52, so it's going to be a little lower, but it certainly feels like some crazy airflow.
Yeah. All right.
Currently holding on behalf of Metal.
Ooh, yeah, 57. Oh, 590.
So that's 7,400 CFM. So that's well into the K55 category.
Sure is.
Even though it's smaller a little bit than a standard K55 fan. Time for spin down. Didn't have to do anything to the bearings in these.
No.
But that I did, like I said, this one, both of them, the stationary shafts had come undone and were kind of stripped. And this one I took completely apart and thought that I had fixed it. And the other one, ironically, is looser than this one. So we'll have to see when we test that one. We're probably not going to do it tonight because it's already pretty late and we did a lot of work tonight already. But, yeah, I may just have to take them apart again. Well, the good thing is, actually, I might not have to take the motor apart. I might just be able to take the switch housing off and to put a bushing. Because they didn't come with bushings, but maybe, I don't know. Honestly, like a lot of fly-by-night American companies and imports, a lot of the construction of it seems pretty cheap. I'm gonna... I see some smudges from one we were... Let's see if I can get that off there. Yeah.
Still spinning down.
Yeah. We got any liquid gold?
What
do we do with that?
It's on that ledge there.
Oh, I see it.
But, yeah.
I just don't want to... Some of the lithium grease we use can be bad for the brass. So I'll clean that up while we... Quite the spin down.
Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely... The bearings are definitely good if it's got this kind of a spin down.
Curious to see where it starts. I don't even remember what it drew on high, to be honest. Now I've forgotten just that quick. Did I even do power factor and all that on high? I might have forgotten. Well, we'll get another chance to do it. But, I guess, well, yeah, we'll do reverse. That'll be our... Oh, I forgot to... there's a few scuffs on the blades. I forgot to do that with the liquid gold as well. Hi, doggo.
Rick or sheep. Let it spin down first.
I sure will. Did you change it to low already or no?
No. And not
medium,
reversed.
low, and then I'll reverse it.
Yeah.
Rick or sheep or doggo.
It's Rick or sheep.
That's a great spin down. Wow. I bet you it gets a good atmospheric low on the test rig for other Jonas. Secondary Jonas. The worst of the two Jonases. Interesting too that there's another knockout of this. Yeah, I'll have to work on that. Okay. Low reverse. These are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
If I could just keep that rattling from happening, these would be, man, where would they look good? They're a little too fancy for that pizzeria I wanted to put fans in. Trying to think of what other friends I have that have restaurants.
Okay. So what's the drawing there?
0.21, same as the other way.
Okay. Medium, what's the drawing?
Same as the other way, 0.56. That's one thing we didn't test. Okay, so wow, these are 1.17 looks like, 120 watts, power factor of 0.84.
Yep.
It's no better in reverse.
Nope.
For shame. So 1.17 is where we were at with the yeah. Yeah, I'll after we test both of them, I'll figure out what to do about these stationary shafts. But since we tested one as is, I think we should test the other as is before I go digging into taking them apart. Because the problem with these really cheap castings is it's very easy to strip stuff. And again, they already got a little stripped in shipping. So I definitely want to test first before I start digging into them.
All right.
Okay. Where do you think it's going to start, your metalness?
Crunch.
Crunch.
3, I think.
Okay. I'm going to chance it with 2.
All right. 1, 2.
Come on, big money.
Oh, you got it.
I think so.
No, you got it, definitely.
What's interesting is there was a time when I saw that some parts were imported, but before I dug into them, that I thought that these would have been the same manufacturer as that copper Centennial thing that I have that also looks like it has some import parts to it. And that one starts really high on the test rig, and it has transformer-based speed, so they're definitely not the same factory. And has what looks like an import motor. This is my favorite kind of fan other than like gold lines and blender fans, and I love weird, obscure, cool things like oh, thank you. I forgot and you remembered. Good. His metalness is a good man. He remembered about something very important, and that's something we should all pay attention to. Okay.
Here is 4.
I'm guessing 4 is the factory low because it's 0.2. Factory low is 0.21, but it could be. Let's see what 5 does.
Here's 5. Still
5's quite a bit higher. So yeah, it definitely was 4 for factory low.
6.
I feel like he might be rushing because he's hungry. You have the cookies?
Oh no, they're out.
You want to run and get them real quick?
Yes.
Grab me a Sperry while you're out there.
All right, here's 7, by the way.
Okay, we will enjoy 7 for some time. I used my grandma's recipe to make... Well, I didn't make them. I had a friend of mine make them because I was out of town. We were in Chicago last week, as you guys may have known from all the Chicago videos. And then this week, I was in Wisconsin, but not at home. But I wanted to have treats for my birthday and bring treats to my church and to House on the Rock and to the barn. And so I had a baker friend, a couple baker friends actually make my grandma's recipes. And so we have my grandma's chocolate chip cookies. Thank you, Your Metalness. Now, you gonna take any of those home, Your Metalness?
I could.
You can take as many as you want. You can even take the whole bag home if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
You want to show those on camera, my grandma's chocolate chip cookies?
Sure.
It's her recipe, but she's passed on 20-some years ago, so, you know, obviously she didn't make them. They would be stale.
Get ready.
Oh, okay. Well, what's going to happen next, I wonder?
8.
Okay, hold on. I'm bad at technology.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch. 8's a pretty good medium-low, I would say. Mm-hmm. It's too fast for a low, too slow for a medium, but I would call that the perfect medium-low. You know what else I would call it? Crunch, 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 crunch. Only Pete could make chewing a soft chocolate chip cookie. Granted, they're not as soft as the day they were baked. They're like a day or a couple days old. But only Pete could make chewing a chocolate chip cookie, a soft chocolate chip cookie, loud. He's got a special gift. I think that the next time that you and Bray Road play, you should make sure you have some 8, 12, 20 on stage, and that should be part of the sound. Part of, you know, you can crunch while you're playing, and that's part of the percussion section. And I guarantee you'd hear it over the drums and guitars and everything.
9.
What, did you bring any 8, 12, 20 with you to the fan meetup?
I actually did not.
Oh. Next time you'll have to do some loud crunching all through the parking lot. As far away from me as possible.
10. Here's 10.
10 seems close to the medium.
Right.
It's a little under.
Here's 11.
11's much higher. So yeah, I think it was 4 and 10, but they're just the values are a little. Unless this is doing the thing where it values the run capacitor, varies the run capacitor instead of having it series, in which case the values might be entirely different. Because now when they do that, one coil's getting full current and the other coil is not, so it's different. So you know, we'll have to look at how it's wired.
We're at 11.
I know about 11. I fear what comes after 11.
And 12.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Now, the good thing about the crunching is it drowns out the rattling from the loose stationary shaft. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Which one annoys me more? Fans making noises that they're not supposed to make, or Metal Pete crunching? They both make my skin crawl, but which one is worse? Rick, I hope you watch this video because I want you to weigh in on that. Like bearing noise or shaft rattle or something else that you know annoys me versus the crunching of metalness. Rattle, rattle, thunder, claddle, boom, boom, boom. You ever heard that commercial?
Oh, yeah.
I told Nia about that commercial, and I guess they didn't have CarX where she grew up. She's like, what are you talking about? But there's a lot of great commercials.
Oh, yeah. We had.
I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now.
JT Wentworth.
Call 877 cash now. That's one of the greatest.
Well, here's 14.
Greatest bops of all time, I think, is what the young folks are saying. The jams. That song
15.
goes hard. I'm trying to think of all the things the young people say.
16. It's a current draw now.
It's at .88. Remember, it drew 1.17 on high.
All right. Here's 17.
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Oh, yeah. JT Wentworth.
Pete takes the baritone.
18. 19.
Uh-oh, we might just make it there. It is 1.01, so I think we'll be okay. Or not okay for my ears because they'll be rattling and crunching at the same time.
And 20.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch. He's got to mix the sweet and salty with the chips and then the chocolate chip cookies. And they're good chocolate chip cookies.
Mom.
Monster. Who's your favorite Sesame Street character? Is it Cookie Monster?
Probably was the Count.
That's when I was gonna say the Count too. I love the Count.
One pimp slap. 2 pimp slaps. You've been late 4 times. And then there's a stoner elephant.
Hi, bird.
I'm really stone, bird.
I don't think that was on the children's version.
Oh, that was Chappelle.
Yeah. I was just listening to a Charlie Murphy interview recently.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what a loss.
Yes. All right, let's see. 21.
Not over yet.
22.
Not over yet. Rattle, 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 rattle.
23.
Right there.
Okay.
24 is right there.
I just hit the high switch.
Okay, yeah, dropped to 1.16, so.
I just went up. Now we're right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least know it's safe on any control. How do you think it's going to do with solid state?
I think.
No rubber flywheel. There is rubber in the mount. So far, it's been silent.
Yeah, I think bedroom quiet if it rattles the windings.
Yeah.
From the triac.
I'm going to go with living room. I sure hope it's silent, but just with no rubber flywheel, I think silent is unlikely.
Yeah.
Because there's not only is there no rubber flywheel, but there's no like rubber washers or, like even in like an industrial would have the rubber or paper spacers between the blades.
Isolation, yeah.
Yep, and there's no isolation on this one. So I'm going to go with living room, but I hope it's silent. Silent would be wonderful.
Okay.
Not silent.
Definitely seems bedroom. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm calling it living room.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's low end of living room easily. Mm-hmm. Okay, 0 to high. What do you think for inrush?
Big.
You think big? Mm-hmm. I'm going to chance it with no inrush. It could be small, though. I don't know. I'm going to chance it with no.
All right.
1.16. Oh, now I think Pete's right. I think it's big. If it drops one more, it'll be big. Either way, it's not no inrush. If it drops one more, it'll be big. Right now, it's still at small. Close enough.
Yeah.
We'll give it to Pete. It's on the cusp between big and small. Because I did see 1.16 at one point when I was running. So I think it's just flopping. Okay. Yep, let's see, it went down to 1.16 and then back up to 1.17. So it's really right on the line. Okay, let's turn the light back on. And let's do a Rick test.
Okay.
Might as well set it to low.
Yeah.
These are my favorite shades, by the way. They didn't come with it, but I just thought they would look great on there, and Pete agreed. Okay, you want to cut those other video lights off?
Yes.
And then just dim it down a little bit once you're,
Oh. I can't dim it down because they're connected together.
Yeah, but you can still dim it down. Why couldn't you dim it down? Well, wait till turn the other light off first. You don't want to be walking around in the dark. But yeah, it just means that the fan will go a little slower. I mean, worst case scenario, we got to bump the fan up to medium. But, it's a little bright for a Rick test. So I think if you dim it down, the fan will still run. If not, we'll just take it to medium. It's a little buzzy.
Nope, that's just...
Oh, it's acting weird?
Yeah.
Is that high? That's high. So it only works on high with the dimmer for some reason. Okay. Well, how metal is it?
Oh, this is definitely, if it were obviously not counting the rattle.
Anything
issue.
we need to fix? Yeah, don't count that.
Okay. It is definitely extreme metal. Death Clock approved.
Death Clock is probably my favorite metal band, or at least one of them. I like Death Clock. I like Lords of the Trident. I like a few others, but those are, you know.
But being Death Clock approved,
Yeah.
they're just tough to deal with.
They are.
They are like elitist. So when I say Death Clock approved,
That's the top of the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for seeing these in classy restaurants.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, in the right place, of course.
We gotta find a restaurant for these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brendan Small, a heck of a musician too.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Killer guitar player.
He sure is.
Obviously, I paid quite a bit of money for these, so obviously Menards, obviously very high Menards. I'm counting on being able to fully fix them and have them function with no rattle, and hang them somewhere really cool. So here's the question: how Rick do you think these are?
Does he like these kind of ornate stuff?
I can never clock it. Some ornate stuff he loves, and other ornate stuff is like it's not malaise enough, you know.
Yeah. This might be a wood grain station wagon.
I think it's either high end of wood grain station wagon or avocado appliance.
Yeah.
I think if it's not avocado appliance, I think it's got to be on the higher end of wood grain station wagon because it's rare, it's cool,
Yeah.
it looks great in a restaurant. It's the reverse pitch I would think he would like. Well, some people hate reverse pitch, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna guess. I'm sure Stuart likes it. I know Jonas says these are peak organ room. In fact, that would be a great place to hang these. Have one over each of the organs in the organ room.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, if House on the Rock will, one day will let us hang some fans. That would be the dream. Go in there with a lift and what I would do for the organ room, I'd probably do black gold lines where you can't see them, and then have some like ornate fans on long down rods over the organs.
Yeah.
If they were going to put HVLS fans, that would be the room to do it. I don't like them, but I could see a couple right heights in there because it's such a huge, hot room, and then still have some fans on long down rods over the organs.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I think we pretty much covered it with this.
Yeah.
So time to.
This video is brought to you by the following sponsors: Fan Stick, Light Stick, Taco Burrito Mexico, Sperry, the beverage of fan collectors, The Good Manufacturing Company, 81220 LLC, where our motto is crunch, 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 crunch. RickOrSheep.com, a fun game you can play with your friends. For more information, go to RickOrSheep.com. Power Vacuum, the vacuum with more vacuums. Udong batteries. When I think of batteries, I think of Udong.
Major funding for this series
That's
is
supposed to be in
provided by
front.
the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support of viewers like you.
Well, it's been a long night. I think it's time for us to wrap up and go home. Thanks for all your help, Metal Pete. And hopefully we'll get to do some more fun fan stuff later. So, wait, who's that at the door? Why, look, it's Metal Jonas.
My. Wow, atmospheric low. And a lovely doorbell, too.
What do you think of this fan here, Metal Jonas?
That's organ room. Better than, just as good, maybe better than the organ room.
I don't know if anything's better than the organ room, but I think it would look good in the organ room, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, that would make the organ room so much spectacular.
You looking for anything while you're here, Metal Jonas?
Oh, how about some homestead catalogs?
We have 3.
Oh, marvelous. Or even new tone catalogs.
We have 1.
Oh, marvelous.
Speaking of which, what do you think of House on the Rock, Metal Jonas?
Oh, House on the Rock. One word, incredible. One word, overwhelming. One word, amazing. Wow.
Well, I think that's about all that could be said. We will be doing at least easily one more video with this because we got to do the other one, and then probably won't do another. If I test video once I fix the switch housings, which I'm assuming I'll be able to do, but hopefully we'll have a video of them installed somewhere. I just haven't figured out where yet, but this is something I really want to see installed, and I have a lot of friends with restaurants, so it's just a matter of figuring out, because this isn't like the restaurant style right now, but there's got to be a restaurant this would look good in. So, okay, that's it for this evening. As always, thanks for watching, and
Bye,
bye, Fantastic. Thanks for watching.